true. So we're going to do a bit of decoy voice, his new video. I was actually looking for a video about this because I half heard it on the radio driving the kids to school this morning.
Yeah,
about the Super Bowl parade.
I saw it last night. I was watching the I was watching TV last night. It came up, some sort of like breaking news on my phone or whatever, and I saw this had happened, sort of thing. So I switched on my phone, switched it to the news channel, sort of thing, to try and see what I could find out what was going on. And it appears that I think a couple of people, I think it's 2 people opened fire. Did they shot a bunch of people? I think some of them children as well. And I think one person's died, sadly. And but I think someone wrestled one of the gunmen to the floor.
So is this at this point being categorised as like a mass shooting where someone was trying to shoot loads of people?
There was 2 people.
Was it an argument?
2 shooters. I don't know, because another one happened. I was reading about another one that happened at the same time in Times Square, where I think it was like it was a South American, maybe a Venezuelan or Colombian or something, had gone into JD Sports and been approached by the security or police or whatever, and they turned around and started open firing Times Square.
Wow.
So I think a Brazilian tourist got injured. I don't think anyone died in that, but it's
madness how quick people are to go to that in arguments, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because obviously, like I'm a fan of guns and I've grown up shooting, but I've talked a few times with Ash about the gun laws here are strict, and they're making them stricter all the time.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I wouldn't want to risk an argument on the street with someone and someone pulling a pistol.
It's not just guns. When I was looking at the news last night, I turned the news on to sort of like try and find out what was going on here, and all of a sudden I got flashed up with like there was another one where someone had trashed a restaurant in Manchester. It was open and they just come past, smashed all the windows, stood outside with a ski mask on and either a knife or a pole in their hand. They couldn't work out what it was. So I think that was live as it was happening, sort of thing. So it's happening all over the world. The world's gone mad, like I say.
It's just that there's lunatics everywhere that are doing dumb stuff. Yeah. It's the ability for lunatics to cause maximum carnage that's the concern, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
There's always going to be dickheads.
Well, they reckon there was 1 million people at this, or they expected 1 million people.
Wow. It's madness, isn't it? I mean, the other side of the argument is if someone was armed while that guy's trashing the restaurant, someone puts a stop to it there and then, when there's a danger. So I see both sides of it. But it seems to be a lot of... I mean, how much donut operator do we watch where someone's just lost it and they're just shooting indiscriminately?
You've got the situation here where if the police open fire to the people, the perpetrators, I think you're running risk if there's that many people, and it's same with that with Times Square. If the police open fire at the gunman, then you're putting many other people at risk.
Yeah,
of course.
So you've got to sort of like be very careful with what you do there.
Yeah.
Have you seen that cop? It's donut operator's new video. No, has he done a video on it? He hasn't. Someone tweeted it to him, where an acorn falls out of a tree.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Yeah.
Hits a cop car, and the guy starts rolling, saying, shots fired, pulls out his gun and just starts shooting.
I saw the headline on it yesterday on like Twitter or something, where it says cop mistakes acorn for gunshots or something. I just thought, I'm not reading that.
There's literally his body cam footage has been released, and that I've just seen maybe 20 seconds of it on Twitter, and it's like, he's doing army rolls out the way and he's shooting it. I think he shoots at his own car, because he thinks maybe someone's in the car.
I saw the headline. That was it. That was enough for me.
It's absolutely balmy.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to check this out. What really happened at the Chiefs parade? A bit of decoy voice. Let's do it.
The Kansas City Chiefs had their Super Bowl victory parade today, where thousands of Chiefs fans gathered around Union Station when shots began to erupt.
Guys, something's going on.
Now, plenty of police were available to immediately respond to the shooting. But also, as one man was allegedly fleeing with a weapon, several fans stepped in to stop him. Now, after the police made the detainment, this is apparently the man that was tackled, who was allegedly beside this weapon and backpack that also appears to have another AR pistol stock sticking out, as a man fans are hailing as a hero stated this.
One guy was hollering and saying, stop him, or catch him, tackle him, whatever, and he's just bailing running. So I went to go tackle him, and another gentleman did the same thing. And as I'm tackling him, I see his weapon either fall out of his hand or out of his sleeve, because he was wearing a long jacket.
Now, other videos popped up of these 3 individuals being arrested, and also this unknown male being detained as well, as initial witnesses suggest that there was multiple shooters.
In the garage, it sounded like they were securing Union Station because there was maybe some return fire from someone else, is what I heard, but I don't know if the police even knew at that point. It was a lot of confusion.
With police reporting they have 3 of the 4 seen arrested in custody.
We do have 3 persons detained and under investigation for today's incident. We are working to determine if one of the 3 are the one that was in that video where fans assisted police.
But still no motive.
Right now we do not have a motive, but we are asking those who may potentially have any kind of information, a witness or video, to contact police.
As we all know, eyewitnesses...
22 injured and 1 dead doesn't sound like an argument that's got out of hand, does it? That sounds like people are being targeted.
Yeah, if these 4 shooters though, you know, and it's like an argument. It's sort of like some of them had like, I mean, listen, if you're going to go to cause mass disruption, you're going to try and blend in as best you can.
Yeah,
you know. So they've got. I seen one of them there had a home shirt on. Don't know, he got arrested.
Yeah.
But if you're going like, it could well be just an argument that's broke out where they've got guns.
But that's what I heard somewhere, that it was an argument, but that's sort of briefly I heard it on one of the news things. But
if he's got,
I don't know if it's been disproved or what yet.
If he's got 2 AR style. Like he said pistols, didn't he? But like AR-15 was a rifle, isn't it?
Well, there's a rifle laid down next to that guy
Yeah,
before,
yeah.
wasn't there?
So maybe it's got a shortened stock on it or something, so it's more mobile. I don't really know what.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what the gun laws are in Missouri.
If you'll have to carry them around or,
But I think you've got to have them secured. So like a rucksack with a gun poking out of it and one in your hand is not responsible gun ownership.
No, you never know. If he might have been in his rucksack. You know, like what's and then the arguments broke out and he pulled the gun out. I don't know what like you say. They don't know what the motive is yet.
Yeah,
you can only speculate of what you think it might be.
I think even on the news, it's mostly speculation. Isn't it?
Of course it is.
It's just witness testimony.
You find out what happens. Yeah,
I mean,
as you see something, or you find out what happens.
I think it's literally just last night, wasn't it? So
it was.
You know, there'd be a lot of investigations going on and a lot of statements of witnesses, I suppose.
Yeah, we'll probably find out today or tomorrow.
Yeah, you'd think they'd have some sort of idea, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Hopefully later today as to, the reasons.
If it is 3 or 4 people involved and they're targeting people, then it kind of takes you back to what was happening here a decade ago, with the terror attack every couple of weeks with people, just roaming the streets.
I think what you've got nowadays, I think it's happening in the USA just as big as anywhere else in the world. You've got a lot of people coming into countries that are not being identified.
Oh yeah.
So they're not. So they're sort of like what's the word?
Unvetted.
Unvetted. Yeah. So people are coming in and it's like they bring in their rules with them as well. So some of them are just ignorant to the rules of the land they're going into. So they're bringing their own rules and regulations into the countries and just carrying them on, and it's getting out of control a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think that's the main problem that sort of like see with people coming in unvetted. With certain countries. I don't know USA's facing it on a big scale, but I don't know. I don't know what's happening with this. It's only speculation.
We don't know if these are American nationals or migrants or whatever at this point, do we?
No,
not at the moment.
Not that I know. Not that I've not heard anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's like I say, I've not really spent much time on the news today, but but just last night when I heard about it, I turned it on. But then bombarded with 1 or 2 additional stories straight away that was of interest.
Yeah.
So I think I was like, wow, the world has gone mad.
It's just crazy, isn't it? Everyone's there. You'd think for the same purpose to celebrate the Super Bowl win. Everyone's having a great time. And you can't even do that without some dickheads doing stupid stuff.
I know, yeah.
No, it's one of them now. When you go around busy places now, I'm always on alert anyway. But nowadays, you're just walking past people in the street, thinking, is he sort of like is he one of these people that's going to attack me now? When you're looking at people, sort of like, and you're just more vigilant.
You've got to be on your toes, haven't you? You just literally just never know, do you? Because anything like could happen anywhere in the world, anytime. I
don't know what it's like in the States, but they definitely closed the majority of the mental health care in this country, didn't they? So there was like a certain amount of beds per 1,000 people in the population, and it got reduced to about 5% of what it actually was.
Just when it's getting...
when mental health is getting worse.
Needed even more, isn't it, these days?
I think we should open them up again and sign them up as loony bins. That's what you call them, just a loony bin.
Well, I think that was the problem, wasn't it? It was sanatoriums, and there was so much abuse there that they just closed them all. Yeah.
That's the problem. That
was the answer.
That's the problem that you're opening up to. Unfortunately, that's the world we live in.
But I think a lot of these things are quite often a mental health issue where someone's just...
I'm not sure about that.
A lot of them are.
I think that's an easy way out.
A lot of the school shootings are already medicated.
I think that's an easy way out, though.
I'm not saying it's an excuse for what they do, but I'm saying, maybe if there's better care, these lunatics that are going to do something like that could be stopped. And
You'd like
to save lives.
You'd like to think to a certain extent that would be a factor. Otherwise, it's
even
worse if someone's of a absolutely 100% sound mind and they go and do something like that.
Normal people don't go and do that sort of stuff.
It's even worse, isn't it? Well,
but it's the same.
Exactly,
you can carry that out for anything. Anything that someone does that's wrong, you could say, well, he's not normal.
Yeah,
that applies to anything that's wrong.
I think
anything.
Like proper grievous offences, like shooting 22 people,
especially when it's premeditated.
Yeah,
then that's different than going out and just losing your rag, and
that's different than a road rage incident, for example.
Yeah,
potentially. I mean,
if someone stick a gun, imagine if you stick a gun in someone's face to rob a bank or to hijack someone or to generally rob someone, that person's going to be traumatized for the rest of their life. And then someone goes, "Oh, he's not of sound mind."
I'm not saying sentences should reflect that. I'm just saying, as a preemptive measure, more care for people that aren't well mentally might stop some of these happening.
Oh, absolutely.
You only have to stop one or two of them for it to be worth the money.
It's the same with anything. If you open sort of like give it areas where people sort of like mess around with kids and put them in, you'll stop that. If you put anyone that speeds in a car goes to prison for 6 months or whatever it is, it'll stop people doing it. Any deterrent where he's going to stop people doing it by locking them up, he's definitely going to slow it down. But if they're roaming the streets and that's the answer, and they're saying, "Here, take this medication and away you go," we're going to fucking I'll do it again. Yeah. Some people are super smart, not mentally ill.
Yeah. No, I think what I'm saying more is people are given medications with side effects and stuff, whereas it's the actual care that a lot of people need. Again,
I agree.
It's a broad brush because we don't know what's going on.
I agree. 100% agree with what you're saying there. There's definitely people who need to be cared for who have got mental issues. But a lot of the time nowadays, the mental issue is just used as generic, generic
and
excuse.
It's not an excuse, and it shouldn't be let them off with a light sentence because of it. Yeah. Definitely not. It's like that 24 hours in police custody that we've both been watching. There was one. It was that, wasn't it, where there was one guy that was on day release from a local mental health unit. Remember, he got on a bus and stabbed someone. I'm sure it was on that.
I vaguely remember the story.
It followed him going back to the home and stuff, and I think he'd killed someone, but it was just a woman on a bus. And it's like that sort of thing. That's loads of medications and stuff. Oh, he's all right now. Let him go out to public, and then he goes and does it anyway.
We had the guy in here who was like, mentally ill, and he needed locking up. I think he is now. I've not heard from him for ages, but he's one of them where he was sat in this proximity.
Yeah. You don't want him roaming wild.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. No. That's kind of the point I'm making. Is like, anyway.
A witness or video to contact police.
As we all know, eyewitnesses, especially in high-stress situations, aren't necessarily the best sources of information, and the facts around these situations are quickly changing, so it's difficult to determine exactly what's happening, especially when CNN's front page on the incident immediately goes into crime stats that seemingly omit a large portion of this crime and quickly begin broadcasting alongside victims of previous incidents.
This is the reality of living in America. These shootings that you see. And we are joined now by Manuel and Patricia Oliver, who of course are the parents of Joaquin Oliver, known lovingly as Guac by so many of his friends and family, who was killed that day 6 years ago in his creative writing class.
And MSNBC is not much better, as they immediately blame Missouri's open carry laws, dramatizing their deaths as Americans' love affair with weapons. So that's why I had to turn to Daily Mail of all places for even reasonable reporting, as they report 1 dead, 29 injured, and 9 believed to be kids. Where the incident occurred outside Union Station, which going by the Kansas City Chiefs map, was just outside where their parade took place. So the Kansas City Chiefs tweeted out that their hearts go out to the victims, their families, and all of Kansas City, confirming all their coaches, players, staff, and families are safe, and thanked the local law enforcement. So obviously a lot of people will have opinions about what's going on here, but honestly at this point, I don't think there's anything reliable enough to commentate about definitively. But I did find it important to provide a concise video of what we can, with a minimal slant as to why. So our hearts go out to the victim, Lisa Lopez Galvin, a Kansas City Chiefs superfan, disc jockey, and mother of 2. And there's no sign-off or promo here. I just think it'd be best to watch a clip of the Chiefs star running back Isaiah Pacheco celebrating the parade, just signing autographs and taking selfies with the kids, and just enjoying the moment with the fans.
The kids are running onto the street to go and this is very
surprised he didn't get bombarded there.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's I wouldn't look to the Daily Mail to get a balanced view of
it's a
anything.
sad state of affairs when you've got to go to the Daily Mail for more balanced journalism.
So it was Daily Mail over here.
Yeah.
Well, it's
wasn't like a.
No, it's the Daily Mail. But
I just wonder whether maybe there's one over there called
it's
the
the Mail.
same.
No, it's the Mail. Daily Mail.
Yeah,
it's the Mail group.
It's sort of it's slanted right.
100% it's slanted right.
But I think maybe reports facts a little bit more than other things.
I'm not sure, mate. I think it twists its words as well.
Well, I think they do on both sides, without a doubt.
Certainly have a narrative, don't they?
Yeah, it's a massive narrative.
Hugely.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
everyone knows it. So
I mean, I read some of the sports on there, and even the sports narrative, fucking, they've got massive agendas.
Yeah,
it's a shit thing to happen, though, isn't it? Regardless of who's done it, why it's happened, whatever. It's
of course it is.
Proper tragedy.
Yeah, it's
when someone dies like that, I mean, you know, Mama too. That's, you know, that's one of them. Sort of like that's
like an innocent person. It's just sort of
like,
you think why? You know?
That's why if it was an argument, you'd think it'd be the people involved would at least have caught a few bullets. You know, and like she doesn't seem like the type.
Maybe there's somebody injured.
Yeah.
You know, exactly. We just don't know, do we? So. Hopefully everything will become a bit clearer anyway in the next 24 hours.
It's one of them things where people blame. I know the international media or the international stage are quick to blame guns in the USA, whereas it's one of them where it doesn't matter. It could be a knife, could be a bar, it could be a hammer.
You look at the terror attacks that happened in London, and it was just knives.
Just knives.
It was devastating.
Yeah, and it's one of them where it's probably a gun's probably more lethal than a knife as a weapon. Without a doubt, sort of thing, and it'll probably have more of an impact on killing people if you're going to spray bullets all over the place or throw knives. You're going to probably end up killing more people with a gun.
It's definitely more indiscriminate with a gun, isn't it? You can just spin around.
Yeah.
You know.
I think we've got to be realistic and just say that it's not a case of because of a gun culture. This is what's happening. This is why it's happening. I don't think it is. I think it's a culture of just nutters around the world.
Yeah.
That's the culture. That's the problem. Fucking.
But everyone has an agenda when it comes to
people getting out of the lane.
Yeah. So
I'm interested in it a lot because, like I say, I'm a fan of guns. I've grown up shooting guns. I'd love to carry on shooting guns. If I lived in the States and I could have a firearm, I would 1,000,000%. So I'm on that side of it. But I also, you see that and it's like, you just can't, like I say, there's nutters everywhere.
Yeah,
ultimately down to the people that are using the guns, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ultimately, you know.
We have shootings over here not so long ago. A guy ran into a house and shot a kid.
Yeah.
By mistake.
Yeah.
He was looking for a guy who ran into that house and he chased him in and he ended up shooting, shot a kid.
Yeah.
That's you don't hear about that worldwide. I don't know, we got banned guns and all that bollocks over here. The guy was a nutter. He was a wanted drug felon.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they do use one incident to tighten gun laws over here as well, and we've already got pretty damn tight gun laws. But there was that guy who went on a rampage with a shotgun a couple of years ago in Somerset and killed people. He'd had his gun taken off him by the police because of violent offences. He'd beaten up a couple that were walking down the street, just proper laid into him, got his gun taken off him, and then they just gave it him back, and he went on a rampage and killed a few people.
Yeah, bizarre,
but the narrative around that was guns are bad. And it was like, no, the police are bad there. They took it off a violent offender and then gave it him back.
The guy should have been in jail for beating someone up in the first place.
Yeah.
Don't just take his gun off him, put him in jail.
It was a horrific attack that he did on a couple that were just walking down the street.
You think you'd be banned from having guns for life then anyway, wouldn't you? You think, well, if you do something like that, then you just you just shouldn't be having a gun.
Don't give it him back.
Shouldn't be walking the streets.
Yeah,
simple.
It's madness.
There's the answer.
Yeah,
discipline.
Guaranteed it'll be politicised very quickly. I'm sure it already has been.
I'm sure it will be, yeah.
It's nice that Decoy Voice kind of just lays out what's happened, what we know has happened, and then tries not to narrativize it.
That's all we know up to now.
So,
yeah. What I'm offended by it all, probably the wrong word offending, I'm not offended, but what I'm upset about it all is that it's a sporting event where people are celebrating. They're celebrating Super Bowl win. Fans are buzzing. There's loads of people coming out to celebrate their team.
Yeah, 1 million people there.
And watch all that, and then some shit like this happens because some knobhead.
Well, it's my favourite band, Pantera. The guitarist got shot and killed on stage, and that's thousands of people coming together to celebrate, have a great time, some live music, and things like that happen. It's awful. But these people are always, if it is someone who's gone out with the intent to do that, they're always going to go for mass.
The
mass casualties.
Devastation. Yeah, that's what it is. The bigger the devastation, the more headlines they get.
Yeah, what's the worst thing you can do? And then you go and do it to get
unfortunately, we live in a
publicity.
world now where people want headlines.
Yeah,
they want to be known. They want to be famous.
Yeah,
they want their 10 minutes. They're not in the sun. And it's just bad. That I'm sorry that the girl got killed, and that's the bit that's the
it's terrible, isn't it?
And fingers crossed everyone else pulls through.
But no.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of people injured as well, isn't there? So
how often is it like a mum?
Yeah.
You know, these things where it's like, it seems to be a lot of dickhead guys that carry out these things.
Yeah.
And there seems to, a lot of young mums tend to be the victims for some reason.
And whoever's pulled that trigger and she's been killed, and hopefully they got jail for the rest of their lives, no matter what happened, what the story was, killed someone.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Yeah,
I
that
think
should be it.
Just forge his paperwork when he's going into prison and just say that he diddles kids.
Yeah.
And then just hand out his paperwork to all the shot callers in the prison.
Killing a mum or two would be enough, I think, in certain prisons.
It might be a badge of honour in some prisons, though. You just don't know.
No chance. There's no chance in the world that's a badge of honour.
I mean, it shouldn't be, ever, but I'm sure there's lots of fucking scumbags there.
I mean, it's just even worse, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, hope everyone pulls through.
Yeah, hopefully. Decent video from Decoy Voice again, though, like you say.
Yeah.
Don't forget, like and subscribe. We'll see you on the next one.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.